Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. Gonna have a crossout video for us today, guys. Now in today's video, I basically just wanted to do a showcase of how strong the Athena weapons can be in crossout. The main reason I wanted to do this is because for those who have read the patch notes, you will know that the developers are planning to basically buff the Athena. The buff in question is that they're going to get a damage increase of 25%. They're going to get a heating increase of 25% as well. And to counteract this, they are going to go from 10 shots per volley down to 8, so a 20% mitigation in the number of shots. Basically, what this means is that overall, you'll be getting a damage buff, a heating buff, and a fire rate buff of 20% in the Athenas, which is a pretty significant buff. Now, I think this is a very bad idea. The logic behind this, the reason the developers gave in the patch notes for this is that the Athenas are not a popular weapon, so they think that it is a bad weapon by result. Now, I'll just address this straight out. The Athenas are incredibly strong in Crossout. The reason they are not popular, pardon me, is not because they are bad, it is because they are incredibly expensive. Now, on the PlayStation market, Athenas are 14,000 coins. That is the main reason why they are not popular, is not because they are not effective. Basically, another reason why I wanted to do this video is because if you think about it from a Battle for Uranium perspective, there are some very dominant weapons in Battle for Uranium at the moment. Now, Athenas and Destructors are two of those. Bearing in mind that Comets and Jupiters and a few other of the dominant guns, and the Joules, a few other of the dominant weapons in Battle for Uranium are about to get nerfed, whereas the Athenas are getting a buff and the Destructors aren't changing. So, the next Battle for Uranium, which is probably going to be, around the 10,000 power score, the Destructors and the Athenas will be some of the very best weapons in the game. The problem with that is that if you buff the Athenas, that means that the Athenas have a very good chance of being the next best weapon in Uranium Wars, which is a huge problem because they are so expensive that, like, for example, at the moment, the Athenas and the Destructors do basically the same job. They're about 50-50. They're as effective as each other for the most part, to be honest. If they 1v1, then there's a pretty good chance like it's a 50-50 split on who wins. It's down to the engagement itself and the player. But if you were to buff the Athenas, then the Athenas would become the new dominant weapon in Uranium Wars. And with their price in mind, that's a huge problem because the majority of the players cannot get a hold of these weapons because they're so strong. Which means that if you lose to an Athena, you're going to be really annoyed because basically you've just been outbought or out inventories. Whereas at the moment, because it's 50-50, the Destructors, bearing in mind, are like a fifth of the price of Athena. So pretty much everyone just buys Destructors, which is fine. If the next dominant weapon in Uranium Wars is a gun that costs less than 3,000 coins, that's completely fine. If it is a gun that costs 14,000 coins, that's a huge issue. So I wanted to do this video just to showcase how oppressive the Athenas can be, especially in a Uranium Wars environment. So we've got two 10,000 power score builds to show off. I've got this one in front of me here, which is something I made. Basically, if I wanted to do like a really sweaty Uranium Wars lineup, for example, what I would do, I'd have this as my main build, and this can fight basically any ranged weapon in Uranium Wars. If it's a ranged fight against hovers or Comet cars or Destructor cars, Reaper cars, whatever it be, then something like this should do very well. My second build would be an Athena hover. Basically, just in case I think the enemy are going to go with a melee build, because a counter to this build right here, the atoms, are melee, so I would pick the second build as a hover to counter the melees or deal with them better, I would say. And then my third build would probably be something along the lines of a harvester booster just to assassinate anyone, and that would be a really, really sweaty Uranium Wars lineup if I wanted to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to show probably 3 games in this, and then 3 games in the Athena Hover, 6 in total, just to show off how good these guns are, because like I said, they really, really don't need a buff, and I think if they did get this buff, then it would be a pretty big problem for Uranium Wars in total. So yeah, I hope you enjoy, guys, and we'll jump in now. Right, first game in the Athenas. Now, getting footage for these guns should not be difficult. They're incredibly strong. I mean, we'll just list it off basically. So they've got good durability, Very easy to armor. They've got very good range, very good damage. They heat for yourself and teammates. Or else? They hit scan, so it's easy to land shots. Even of good range. And they're energy weapons, so they're easy to buff with, say, claws and hurts and all that stuff. Oh, give me your cabin. This guy's stripped. Yeah, he is. I stripped him. Oof, the damage on this thing. Oh yeah, and photon to buff the damage of photon. Oh, fusion, okay. Okay, what the hell am I looking at? Mate has lost his ride, basically. I mean, the range on these things is sick. Oh, okay. I two-shotted each of those cyclones off. This arm, honestly, mad. And my teammates are benefiting from the damage. Alright, first game in the Athena hover. Now this build isn't mine, I must say. This is something I grabbed off the exit. It seems pretty good though, pretty well put together. It's 10,000 power score still. Oh, we gonna make. Well, that went well. I feel sorry for Cyclone players who have to play against this. They are pretty much food. There's very little they can do, to be honest. The hell? Yeah, like situations like this, the heat that you provide to your teammates is invaluable, you know? Oh god. I don't know who this Captain is, I'm thanking him. Okay, second game in the Athena Atom. Like I said, we'll do 3 of the Atom build and then 3 with the Athena Hover, just to showcase the different builds. But to be honest, Athenas you can run them on pretty anything. Hover, Atoms, Dogs, Wheels, whatever. It's just a really strong gun. No, don't do that. Hello, bot. I'm gonna drop back, I think, because... What the hell happened there? I got my way. Yeah, mate, you want to run. Chill while we reload. These are guys up there. And now we peek. What we really got to do in a build, I guess, is just sit back and like let your teammates do the work for you. It's not freezing in me. I'm trying to strip it now. Yep. Like I said, the guns on this are so armored that Destructor's gonna have a real hard time actually hitting my weapons. I can basically just ignore him now. Yeah, these things are really busted. Really quite busted, to be honest. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's what I did. What does this even do? Does anyone know? Oh man. Okay, second game in the Athena hover. Yeah, these weapons are really powerful on a hover build. Basically, you just sit back, let your enemies, or let your teammates, sorry, stay in front of you, take the damage, and then you just sit back and do your damage, and support them with heat, which is really powerful. What the hell is going on there? I'll just tap this bot. Okay, there goes one of them. Hello, mate. God, honestly, the heating damage is so nice. I gotta watch out for that toe though. Really? Okay, come here, Toe. You deserve it now. Is he gonna... No. How's he got a Comet and a TOW? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's a car, okay. Fair enough. Team, I think you've got to do something for me, guys. Thank you. is it for the Athena gameplay, guys. As you can all see, this is a very, very strong weapon, especially around this power score, which is what the Battle for Uranium power score tends to be around. So, to be honest, these are so strong that I was going to do a build through of this build, but to be honest, no, I'm not going to. I do not want this to catch on like the Comet card did, because yeah, it's kind of the point where, like I said, if this is the dominant weapon, it's really going to annoy most of the guys out there, because most of the players simply cannot afford to spend 28,000 coins on a set of legendaries for uranium ores, you know? Whereas if you just do destructors, that's 8,000 coins, that's much more manageable, so that's fine. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video, guys, and I will catch you for tomorrow's.